You know what this is? Hot Mess Express. The O.W.L Readathon is coming up this April, and I wanted to vlog that because I've been in quarantine for a week and I'm really lacking for socializing from anyone. The O.W.L Magical Readathon was made by YouTuber O.W.L.s, and this is the third year it's been going on. Basically, you pick a career that you want to work towards, and for every class you need for the career, you are going to read a book. And then in August, I believe, she is holding the newts. For those of you who are curious and would like more information than my stumbling, rambling, whatever that was, I will be linking the original video down in the description box below. So let's get into it. This year I have chosen the career of librarian, for which you need 4 O.W.L, and they are Ancient Runes, Arithmetic, Defense Against the Dark Arts, History of Magic, and Transfiguration. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I have notes. I have notes that should be more accessible to me than on the other side of my table. For Transfiguration, I have chosen the book Beauty and the Werewolf by Mercedes Lackey. This is set in her 500 Kingdoms universe. It is the second to most current book, I believe. There are 6. The Kingdoms universe is based on fairy tales, where some people have this magic surrounding them called the tradition, which dictates their life. Every person who's surrounded by the tradition eventually fulfills a fairy tale. And in this universe, the godmother's job is to make sure that people are not harmed by the tradition, which can get a little pushy if people aren't following the course that it has laid out for them. This is a book I have read before. I tried to get mostly books that I hadn't read, but I haven't read this in several years, and so it's really time for a reread because I can't exactly remember the plot. But from what I do remember, this is about a girl named Bella who doesn't want to follow her tradition, and so she goes out into the woods to speak to the old wise woman out there known as Granny, and ends up encountering a wolf who's a little more than a wolf. He actually happens to be a magician. And so they sort of team up as they try to find a way to beat the tradition and not follow this fairy tale path that's been laid out for them. I guess this is technically labeled in the genre of romance, but I don't really consider her to be a romance author, so I hadn't even noticed that until I was looking more into this book. So I'm really excited for this one. For my History of Magic O.W.L, I will be reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated edition. I really feel like in a Harry Potter themed readathon, you kind of can't not read Harry Potter. I haven't reread the series in a couple of years, actually, because I was attempting to recreate as much of that original magic as I could. For Defense Against the Dark Arts, I will be reading The Final 6 by Alexandra Moner? Not even gonna try. And this is where I kind of bend the rules a little. We're bending rules, not breaking them, just bending them as far as they could possibly go. This is a book about 24 kids who have been drafted to compete for a spot to colonize one of Jupiter's moons. Now, this technically is about space and only partly set near the sea. In this universe, Italy, I believe it's Italy, is mostly covered by water. I also am really excited for this book because it has an Iranian-American protagonist. This book is about 22 kids who are drafted for a competition to colonize one of Jupiter's moons. Only twist, only 6 of the kids will actually be colonizing the moon. We follow an Italian boy named Leo and an Iranian-American girl named Naomi, who have kind of noticed that this is the second time this mission is being tried, and that the first time had some sort of mysterious catastrophic failure. So not only are we competing either to be on the colonizing team or to not be on the colonizing team, we're also trying to figure out what happened to the first mission. And I cannot wait to start reading this. I believe I'm going to start with this one just because I can't wait to read it. I'm actually counting down the days for my Arithmetic O.W.L, I had a couple ideas. You're supposed to read a book that is the opposite of the genre that you most like to read, or is outside of your reading comfort zone. I usually read like sci-fi fantasy, that's where I stay. So I thought about reading contemporary just because I have read so little. But also at this, time with what's going on out in the world and all of the anxiety and things I'm feeling, I really just want to read books that I enjoy. So I decided to go with O.W.L.s by Art Spiegelman. Now this book is a graphic novel. This will be the first graphic novel I have ever read. I've always kind of been interested in reading them, but I was never really sure how I would take to graphic novel format. This is kind of a biography of sorts of Art's father's time in the Holocaust, in concentration camps, and also kind of his life after the Holocaust. I have been really interested in reading this book as a history major. I thought the premise of this book was really interesting to tell his father's story, or a version of his father's story, through graphic novel format, and to kind of depict different peoples by using different animals. It's really original, and I've wanted to give it a read for a couple years now. So I picked this up recently, and I am excited to read it this month. The book I'm reading for the Ancient Runes prompt is well, it doesn't exist. I thought about books that I have, books that I have access to that have either heart in the title or on the cover. And I realized that the only book that I have, or had, was Inkheart. And I just moved 2 months ago from one coast to the complete other coast, from as north as you can get without being in Canada to as south as you can get without being in Florida. And I got rid of a bunch of books. And one of the books I got rid of was Inkheart. So I decided to go look on the Libby app, which is the app my library uses for access to electronic books, and nothing was available. So I do have on hold 3 books from Libby that I'm hoping will come in time for me to read them in April. I have a hold on Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which I've heard amazing things about. I also have on hold a book called Damsel. It is written by Elena K. Arnold, and it is about this kingdom where there's this ceremony that princes do where they go out into the gray lands to defeat a dragon and save a damsel who will then become his future queen. When Emery brings back Amma, the damsel he saved, she has no memory of what happened prior to waking up saved from the dragon. We follow her tale as she tries to adjust to royal life and figure out what happened, why she can't remember anything. Now, my money from reading the summary is that she is actually the dragon and has somehow like shape-shifted or become human and has no memory of what happened before that. So I have decided to participate in the More People Linguistics course because it only had 1 class, and the book Mouse fulfills that prompt. I don't know if technically this is allowed within the rules, but I'm doing it anyway. I mean, there's no readathon police who are gonna come and like steal my books or something. So I've decided to count Mouse both towards arithmetic and towards herbology. So these represent the 6 books that are on my TBR for April and the O.W.L Readathon. I am so excited for this event and just to be making YouTube videos in general. I have been wanting to make YouTube videos for years. I've made but never uploaded several YouTube videos over the years, so I swear this time I'm actually going to do it, because right now there's nothing better to do and no one else to talk to. That's a spider on my wall. But it's like on the wall by my bed. What am I gonna do? I can never go back to my bed again. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Holy shit, that thing is huge. Oh no, and it flies. I cannot be a spider if it's flying. Right? Spiders don't fly. Oh gosh, there are more of them. I will be signing off for the night. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day, a good weekend. You stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video.